What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Bro Wager Wolf. If you like to stay up to date with boxing news, please hit that subscribe button. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. So as some of you guys know, I went to the Lomachenko Commey fight, and we're not here to talk about the main event. We're here to talk about the undercard. So I got there as soon as Xander Zayas was walking in. So this was like perfect timing. Honestly, I wanted to get there a little bit earlier because were 2-3 fighters I wanted to see on the undercard. But I'm so accustomed to getting to fights like later because the undercards usually so trash that I miss them on purpose. But this actually wasn't one of the case, so my bad. But whatever. I got there as soon as Xander Zayas was walking in. So I'm like, perfect. I didn't miss 1 second of the Xander Zayas fight. And man, Xander Zayas put in a tremendous performance. Man, this kid is only 19. Yo, me and my brother were watching it. It was just like he knew what punch was coming. The way how quick he was shifting, boom, counter, and he was so sharp and so accurate. It was almost like he barely missed any punches. Everybody around me was like, "Yo, that kid's a superstar. That kid is gonna be a fucking beast." Again, 19 years old and just really showed his skills, showed his power, showed that he could perform in moments. This Madison Square Garden. Again, it wasn't fully packed because one, it wasn't all sold out, and as well as it's the undercard, so not everybody shows up for the undercard. But point is, it's still Madison Square Garden. It's still an undercard for one of the top fighters in the lightweight division. So there's some kind of pressure that you have to perform. And he performed. He delivered. You can say the guy he performed against is a bum, but the guy was what 9-1 or something like that. At the time. That's not a bump. That's somebody who has experience. That's somebody that's been in the ring. And again, this kid is only 19 years old, giving a performance like that. But what upset me about his performance, right? So it was a fantastic performance, knockout. Everybody around me is thinking like, oh man, that kid's a future star. Then they make an announcement, hey, if you guys want to walk around, take pictures, go on Instagram, social media, do your thing. We're going for a little break. I was like, damn, a little break. It's a little early for a break. My brother tells me, I went with my brother. He goes, oh no, that was the ESPN Plus card. They're giving a breaks for the ESPN, like the regular TV ESPN. That's going to go on. So I'm like, so that performance that Xander Zayas did was not on regular ESPN? I was like, damn, man, Top Rank really dropped the ball. Whatever, I ain't make nothing of it. We went, we got some food or whatever we did. Came back. Who opens up the ESPN card? Nico Ali Walsh. That's a disgrace, man. Nobody wants to see that shit. You get what I'm saying? If you want to put him on, and I don't mind you trying to build up his career because there's a potential to make money considering his lineage, considering his last name, who his grandfather was. You want to put him on those type of cards, I have no problem with it. But when it's costing Xander Zayas airtime on regular ESPN, I have a fucking problem with it. Because you're putting a club level fighter over a real fighter, a real prospect, somebody who's really grinded his whole life to become a superstar, specifically in New York City since he's a Puerto Rican, and you put Nico Ali Walsh, a guy nobody in boxing is interested in. No, listen, I have a talk show. Nobody calls in to talk to me about a Nico Ali Walsh. Nobody in the chat sections talks about Ali Walsh. Why was Ali Walsh in the regular ESPN and Xander Zayas off? Like, that was ridiculous. And again, it was a club level fight. Yeah, did I think Nico Ali Walsh deserved to win? Yes, he got the win. I'm not even arguing but it just wasn't an entertaining fight. And it was such a huge step down in talent right after. Like, what were you guys doing? That was ridiculous. And normally Top Rank knows what they're doing in terms of promotion. This, they really dropped the ball on. They really, really dropped the ball. So in the Keyshawn Davis fight, one of the things I noticed right away was the size difference between him and his opponent. When the referee was giving them instructions in the middle of the ring, I was like, yo, this guy looks like he's 2 weight classes below Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis, I don't know if Keyshawn Davis blows up after weighing in or that guy's just a blown up, 122 pounder or something. The guy looked tiny next to Davis. And as far as his performance, I'm not one of those guys who can see a prospect fight a total nobody and be like, oh my God, that guy's going to be the next superstar. I don't have that kind of skill.
But he did what he was supposed to do against that opponent. The only thing I would say is I would have rather see him show me more power. But what I mean by that, there were times he was landing shots and it was kind of pity pats, and he may be setting them up, so to get the guy comfortable with the power, because we all saw he turned it up and got the knockout, you know. But I would rather him see him like show him he's the boss early, and then go, all right, listen, you behave the way I want you to behave because I'm the power guy. I'm the guy who's hit hard in this ring. I like those kind of fighters. A guy who let the other fighter know he's the boss in the ring. I felt like at times he was playing with his food and then got the knockout. If you could get the guy out as quick as possible, do that. That's how you make a big impression, especially in Madison Square Garden. Your first fight after coming back from the Olympics, your first fight on Top Rank, your first fight on ESPN. You have all the incentive to, put out a great performance, a memorable performance. Although, again, he didn't have a bad performance by any stretch of the imagination. He performed good. He came with his silver medal. He cheered to the crowd. The crowd was loving it, chanting USA, USA. But again, was it a memorable performance? Not really. Like, is that something people were on the train ride home talking about? Not really. But again, I'm not going to be too overly critical. The guy, that was his fourth pro fight. I'm definitely not going to be too overcritical. And again, I like to see him. You could have on the ESPN card, because I understand you having that fighter at the ESPN card. He's a silver medalist, somebody who you're trying to develop, a real fighter, and you just signed him. You're trying to show him off to the public. I get that. That Nico Ali Walsh, that was some bullshit.
Next fight after
that's
was
just me being honest.
Jared Anderson, and I forget his opponent's name, but Jared Anderson came in a pimp suit with a pimp hat, a cane, had two ring car girls walk in with him. Man, the whole crowd went crazy. The whole crowd, everybody around me was like, yo, that guy cannot lose. You make an entrance like that, you cannot lose. And he came out and he performed. He came out southpaw. And I didn't realize his hands were so fast, because I was never a big Jared Anderson fan. I was always like, yeah, I like how he moves his head and he uses good defense, like moving. But I felt like when he does that, he really exposes his body. And right now he's fighting lower level competition. But when he fights Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, one of those guys, they'll attack that body once you're doing all this moving up with your hands to your side. He was a lot better with that this time. And again, I don't know if it's because I saw him live or I just never noticed. His hand speed for being 240 pounds is fast. Man, that jab, it was just a snappy, whoo, boom, 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 boom. And he's coming out southpaw. And I'm like, I don't remember him as a southpaw. Well, whatever. He did good anyways. He won the first round. Then he comes out the second round as an orthodox and starts performing and doing good. I'm like, wait a minute. So this guy at the time was 10-0 with 10 knockouts. Now he's 11-0 with 11 knockouts. So I'm like, this guy not only has power, because his record shows he has power, but now he could also switch stances, has fast hands, and has good head movement and good defense. And he's only 22 years old. Promoted by Top Rank, one of the best promotional companies. Managed by James Prince, one of the best managers, a guy who managed Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather. This guy has the right people around him. And again, he has the swagger to become a superstar. Now, is he going to be the next heavyweight champion? I don't know. I would need to see more. I would need to see him step up his competition a little bit more. But the guy he fought was 17-1. You know what I'm saying? And the guy was Ukrainian, and it was a pro-Ukrainian crowd. And he performed like that. So, I really like what Jared Anderson did. And he's definitely, and I mean definitely, in the running for Prospect of the Year. And and then after that was the main event, but this wasn't a pay-per-view card. This was a fight on ESPN, but I felt like I got my full money's worth. The main event was not underwhelming, and that's probably the wrong word. It wasn't as competitive as I thought it was going to be, and there was also no knockout, which I also thought that was going to happen. But he did drop him in the 7th. But I felt like I got my money's worth. I had really good seats for a really good price, and I had the environment was fun. The only thing is, when I went to go buy, I bought a beer and a bottle of water. They gave it to me in cups. They poured the beer in cup and they poured the water in cup. And I was like, why can't you? They was like, yeah, for certain events, we're scared that people are gonna start throwing things. And I was like, what? People are gonna start throwing things at a boxing event? They're like, yeah. So I was like, if there's a robbery in any of these fights, I don't know. That may be some conspiracy there. Like, why you all of a sudden was giving everybody cups? I went to the Teofimo fight and I had my beer in the same building. You know what I'm saying? With no cup, no nothing. But anyways, that's my video, guys. I go live every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. If you guys ever want to come join me, I allow people to call in and express their opinion, whether you agree or disagree. All is welcome. Also, follow me on Twitter at _BroadwayJoel. But all right, guys, until next time, peace.